Hey y'all, it's Tammy with Collard Valley Cooks, and today we're making a cheesy broccoli and ham quiche. Now you could just do broccoli and cheese if you wanted to. Let's get started. If you're by yourself and you want something good to make that's a one pot type meal, but you want something different, a quiche is really good for you and it's delicious. We're going to start off with a pie crust. You can make it homemade or you can buy a refrigerated one, whatever you want to do. Now this is a refrigerated pie crust, and I have used a standard pie plate, which is my favorite because it has the edge and it keeps the pie crust from wanting to fall down in to the pie bottom. And I have crimped it, and we're going to place it in the oven, and we're going to bake it at 400 degrees for about 12 minutes or so. When you're using broccoli, a lot of these recipes will tell you to use frozen broccoli. I prefer fresh broccoli. And if you're going to have something in the oven, or at least 30 minutes or so, you can cut it really small if it's going to be in a liquid type format when you put it in there, and it cook enough, all right? So I am going to use a fresh broccoli, and I am going to cut it very small so that I don't have to pre-cook it. Now, if you want large pieces of broccoli, of course, you would need to steam it first before you place it in your recipe. But I'm going to show you how little this is that I'm working with. When you get a piece of broccoli, of course, it has this stem. You're going to want to take your knife and cut it as close as you can to the actual green part. And then they're going to be in some smaller pieces. And then you can take your knife and divide them up into even smaller pieces so that they'll be sure and get mixed in with the egg quiche mixture and be done in your quiche. So you can tell I've got enough just about to cover the bottom of my pie plate. I'm going to do one more. So just remember to cut them really close or steam them first if you want some larger pieces in there. All right, we're going to be using half and half, and I'm going to use a cup of it. So we're going to go ahead and pour this cup of half and half in here. We're going to be using 4 eggs, a half cup of mayonnaise. You can use butter instead of mayonnaise. It's totally up to you, whichever one you get the most of. Throw it in here. They're both really pretty much oil, so I'm choosing to use the mayonnaise today. And I'm going to beat my eggs up a little bit with a fork. And then we're going to mix these 3 things together. All right, we beat this egg up really well. And we're going to go ahead, and I think I'm going to mix the egg and the milk. And to tell you the truth, I need a bigger bowl. So we'll put our pretty broccoli in this beautiful bowl. And we'll use this one to mix up our milk and stuff. Now remember, I have a little tiny bit of broccoli in there, so you're going to see it. You've got the 4 eggs, the cup of half and half. And you can get this mixed up while your pie is pre-baking. Your crust is baking in the oven. Now you can use a half cup of melted butter or a half cup of mayonnaise. I'm choosing to use mayonnaise. You can use whichever one you decide to do is fine. And since this is a cheesy broccoli, I thought the mayonnaise would just make it even taste better. Now I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in here. Well, actually, I take that back. Since we're using mayonnaise, it's got a lot of salt in it. So either use salted butter or mayonnaise because both of those have salt. If you use an unsalted butter, you're going to need to put some salt in here. We'll just put a little pepper in here. Now some people put cayenne pepper in their quiche and some people don't. Most people don't use black pepper. But me being a southern girl, I just like my black pepper. I'm going to put in at least a half teaspoon of black pepper. And to give it a little bit of extra kick, Let's put a little onion powder in it. I think that would be good. Now, some people, if you use mayonnaise, some of your mayonnaises have garlic in them, and some don't. This is one that don't. I don't think Duke's and Blue Plate has the garlic. I know Hellman's does. So just add some spice in there, whether it's onion powder, or garlic, whatever you like, but I put in onion because that's what I like. Now this quiche could be a full meal because it's got cheese, protein. I'm going to put a little bit of ham in it. If you've got some extra chicken or any other kind of meat that you want to throw in here, you can. Most people use ham or chicken. So throw you some ham in there or chicken and have it for dinner one night. It would be a good thing to make, especially if there's only one or two of you. So I'm going to get out a couple of pieces of ham. We have some ham left over from our Thanksgiving meal. Actually, I think 2 of these large slices are going to be enough. I don't want a lot of ham in mine, just enough to say I got some in there. You can even buy diced ham in a bag. If there's just 1 or 2 of you, you don't want to get a large piece of ham like this, you can buy it in a little bag, and it's already diced for you. That comes in handy. Now, the last thing we're going to do is put a little flour in our mixture here because our crust is ready. You need to add a little flour to this so that it rises up pretty. And I could probably get by with less flour, but I like my flour. So I'm using a 1/4 cup of self-rising flour. All right, I'm using a 1/4 cup of self-rising flour. But if you use plain flour, and you put in the 1/4 cup of plain flour, all-purpose, then you need to put in a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder to help it fluff up, okay? But this is going to be a really good cheesy quiche with something healthy in it, some fresh, delicious broccoli. We're going to pour this over the top of our cheese and our broccoli once our crust comes out of the oven. And now I'm going to put my broccoli in my shell. My ham. I'm going to put almost all the cheese in here, but save enough just for the very top. I think it works just perfect. I thought for a minute we were going to have too much, y'all, but I don't think so. It's going to be a delicious quiche. This is a broccoli cheese quiche. It's going to be absolutely delicious. And it would be perfect to make, even to pour in individual tarts shells. If you get the little phyllo shells from the freezer section, or you can make little tinier cups, separate little tiny pies out of it for an appetizer. And this is going to be my lunch because I have not had lunch today. It rose up really pretty. It rose up so pretty. And it took it right at 40 minutes. Let's get us a plate and get us a bite. All right, it's hot. So when I cut it, it's going to smoke. Sure. I'm just playing in my quiche. I can't seem to get it with my fork. Let's give it a try. It's really delicious. It's nice and fresh tasting. The broccoli is so good. Now the broccoli is not mushy done. So if you like your broccoli that way, you need to steam it first. But I actually like the little bit of crunch that I'm getting in the quiche. I think it gives it some texture. It's delicious. And remember, you can add that cayenne pepper if you want it to have a little heat. Thanks so much for watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like Mama did. Bye, y'all. We love ya. Come back and see us.